takes so long to get past that screen. Hello, and welcome to the final part of Sonic 1 8-bit. And the Game Gear version of the final boss is completely different from the Master System version. I love how fast you go there. And basically, it looks simple, right? Just keep jumping into Eggman. Problem. You have no way of knowing where exactly the fire is going to show up. You have to memorize where the fire is going to show up. It's not like there's a little fire effect just above each of the fire pillars telling you that they're going to show up just before they do. And there's the energy balls are just firing all over the place. And I think it's best to try to lure them over to an area where they'll be harmless. But that's not always easy. But as you can see, I didn't die very much there, so you can tell that it's really not that hard. Unfortunately, the Master System version, on the other hand, is an entirely different, far more annoying story. This boss is a nightmare. And yeah, I'm going to be abusing save states for this one, folks. And I know it looks cheap, but look, the electricity appears completely randomly, alright? You can't tell when it's going to appear. There's no cues to warn you a second before it appears that it's going to appear. And the energy ball keeps on shooting at you, and the safest technique is to stay to the left side of the screen and only jump at him when you feel like it's safe. It's like, don't jump at him when the electricity is going to appear on the right side of the screen, because then you're probably going to be trapped in an unwinnable situation where you're knocked into the electricity, or the electricity is going to come to the right and kill you, and you won't be able to avoid getting killed because it's only coming to the right, not to the left. This boss is pure memorization. You memorize exactly how many hits you're allowed to give Eggman before the electricity shows up again and it's no longer safe to attack him. It's like, first you hit him 2 times, and then you hit him 1 time. And I did a lot of editing for this. A lot of editing. This boss took me forever, and I really can't understand why they thought it was a good idea to make it like this. I mean, at least you always know where the electricity is going to show up. That's good. It's kind of underwhelming that the boss theme for this is the exact same as the boss theme for the rest of the game, though. And whatever you do, don't roll into a ball when you're at the left side of the screen, because you're going to end up helplessly rolling into the electricity with nothing you can do about it. I died a ridiculous amount of times here. So you can't blame me for using save states, because this boss doesn't deserve to be beaten legitimately. It's complete bullshit. Easily one of the worst bosses, if not the worst final boss I've ever fought. And the weird thing is, okay, why didn't Eggman, after teleporting away, turn off his teleporter so that Sonic couldn't follow him? He's not very bright. In Sonic 1 for the Genesis, you could choose to jump into Eggman after beating him. In this game, it just happens automatically. I prefer being allowed to just jump into Eggman when I want. Like, I preferred being allowed to give him one last hit after beating him. You know, this kind of isn't as satisfying because it's just Sonic automatically hitting him. I really do love how there's a map screen for this game, though. Like, I love how it gives you a better sense of where every location in South Island is, because that's the location that Sonic 1 and this game take place in, South Island. I love this song. You know, I'm not usually a big fan of credit medleys. I usually think it's pretty lazy because they think, oh, should we construct a brand new song for the credits theme to reward you for beating the game? Nah, let's just mash all the previous songs together. But a lot of the time, credit medleys tend to come out pretty well, and usually they at least have a very good original part of it that shows up at the beginning. Like, I love the original beginning of both versions of Sonic 1's credit themes. But enough about the credits music. Like, I love this game. You know, I just love the levels, and sure, I hate the fact that the bosses force you to fight them without rings. That's the game's worst problem to me. Like, it's all about the platforming, but the platforming is incredibly satisfying and it controls perfectly. And I never really feel like the platforming challenges are cheap in any sense. And there are fast parts. Like, I love the parts where you roll down a slope and then you you roll down a slope and then you hold down the A button and then you get launched forwards and you start flying. Like, I love that. I wish more 2D Sonic games had that. Like, this is easily... I prefer the Game Gear version of this because the bosses are a lot easier to defeat, and really, bosses that force you to fight them without rings should be done and over with as quickly as possible. But the Master System version of the game is still good. It's still worth playing. It's just that the bosses are harder because they're higher up on the screen, and of course you all remember Jungle Zone Act 2, how bullshit it was that whenever you went up, then there was a bottomless pit below you all of a sudden. But other than that, I think this is a fantastic, underrated gem, and everyone should at least try it out. And the next game I'll be tackling for Sonic series is Sonic 2 for the Master System. See you then.